Saturday the 27th of March. I'm just about to cross under the A36 in Bath, near the Bath railway station, under what I believe is Bath's only subway. I don't think I've been through here for about 30 odd years. It's a lot lighter and a lot less smelly than the last time I remember it. Heading up to the Wells Road. I'll tell you what I'm doing and why, and I'll also tell you a little bit about what I'm up to and what I've been up to. A little bit of hidden Bath. I just cycled in that way. That's the start of the subway, and this is where I've just come across. This is the busy A36. That'd be Widcombe up that way, heading towards the Lower Bristol Road and Bristol direction that way. I'm heading up here. I'm at the start point for today's ride. I'm riding my 26-inch wheel hybrid Caribou bike, and I'm on touring shoes, which means I can walk more comfortably. That's the end of the railway station. That would be the Bristol platform heading that way. I've just crossed this busy road. So let me explain. If I give you a quick sweep of where I am, I'm stood looking over the Wells Road, the A367. In fact, before the 1960s, it used to go straight down there. I'm heading up here, Holloway. So this would have been the old Fosse Way coming into Bath. That's what I'm doing today. You probably gathered Andy's a bit fixated with the Fosse Way. I'm going to start from Bath, ride to Shepton Mallet and follow the Fosse Way as closely as possible. Today's little ride is I'm Recceing a bit of the Fosse Way, whereas previously, the last few rides, I've been heading north from Bath. Today I'm heading south. As with the other routes north of Bath, the modern road has utilised the Fosse Way, but it's taken out the real steep inclines and declines by following the curve of the contour going round hills. According to the OSM map, the original Fosse Way is still bridleway and byway, so I'm going to try and ride that today. There's 5 sections which are in effect off-road, so I'm going to see if they're rideable. We're going to start from here, head up, that will take me to Bear Flat, where I join this road here, and then it's straight out of Bath towards Dunkerton, Peasdown, Radstock, Oak Hill and Shepton Mallet. This is Holloway, about 100 or so metres into the ride. I'm riding along the edge of Beeching Cliff. It's worth noting there's quite a few stairways up there. I think there's 3 in total. Take you up to Alexandra Park. There's some fantastic views looking down on Bath from there. You'll often see photographs of that view in guidebooks or on postcards. It's interesting, this was the main route into the city until the Wells Road was built in the 1770s. The area is noted for its springs. Lo and behold, there's one here, former spring. Just around this slight curve, I'll be joining the Bear Flat and the A367. Then there's a dual carriageway at Bath, and then it ruler straight as it heads towards Dunkerton. And the first bit of rough stuff I'm going to try as it starts descending down Dunkerton Hill. The byway will attempt to go straight on, whereas the modern road could. Now about 3 miles into the road, you can tell I'm on quite a busy road. The road climbs steeply out of Bath, levelled out, and now it's dropping down towards Dunkerton. It literally goes down and straight up. You can see the modern road has used the contour to take the sting out the descent. This is the original Fosse Way. This is what I'm going to try and be doing today. There's 5 sections like this. This is going to be one of the steepest. The idea of today's ride is I'm researching my trip that's going to hopefully now be in June. More about that later on. I just want to see whether these stretches are actually rideable or not. This is halfway along the first leg. I've just come down that way. It was mostly rideable. The very steep parts, you could tell there was four-wheel drive tracks up to the main road, and it was really rutted in places and there were deep puddles. On a dry day I think it'd be much easier. Had to get off in several places, like for example that big pool there comes out by this farm, crosses this minor road. That would be the Titfield Thunderbolt crossroads that way, Coombe Hay that way. It looks like it's metalled for the next section. This should come out at the bottom of Dunkerton Hill, and I'll join the main road just as it crosses the Cam River, the Cam Brook, before it starts climbing up steeply towards Peasdown. Then there's another byway section which hopefully comes out the Prince of Wales Inn. Each section I'll put a little slide up on the screen which shows the straight course I'm taking opposed to the main road. Well, in this case it's just off a few hundred yards that way. This is halfway down the first section where I've just crossed the minor road. Next stop, the bottom of Dunkerton Hill. I'm approaching the end of this first section, which was in two halves when you cross that minor road, and it levelled out there, but now it's dropping steeply down to Dunkerton to just be beyond those trees. You can hear the main road in the distance, see all the traffic heading Radstock that way, Bath that way. As the road curves round the contours, I'll be joining it as the two intersect down there. The Fosse Way byway gets very steep towards the bottom as it passes a couple of houses. I think that was called Hillside Cottage, but hey, look at this. Fosseway SPQR, I'm not sure what that abbreviation stands for. And you can hear the main road just off to the right here. This is it, the end of the first section, the Fosse Way, aptly named Fosse Acre. And there's even a sign pointing you towards the Fosse Way. Before we get to a lot of noisy traffic, I'll maybe explain why I'm riding this today. I've actually decided to ride the whole of the Fosse Way, hopefully in June, from Exeter to Lincoln. And I've even worked out a rough itinerary. The first day will be from Exeter to Bath, where I'll stay in my own home. And this will be the last few miles. And at the end of a long day, I didn't really want to chance it and sort of see, oh, would that be rideable? That's what today's about. It's a recce, a reconnaissance to see whether I can use these 5 sections of Fosse Way on my complete ride. I've just reached the bottom, the end of the first section of the byway, and you can probably tell I'm back on the main road. That's the main road coming down that I've just avoided. I'm going to join it for a few hundred yards, and you can see it's climbing up steeply there, curving round. I'm going to try and go straight up if possible. A few hundred yards, just crossing the Cam Brook. There's the Dunkerton Wellow Turnpike sign. The modern road starts snaking round, and my byway, the original Fosse Way, is hopefully going up just behind the end of that first deviation sign is the byway. Just passing Home Farm. Just beyond this first sharp deviation sign is the byway. Again, whether it's rideable, I may have to walk that. That looks pretty muddy. I'm going to give it a go anyway. It's used by horse riders by the look of it, going by this extended handle. It's definitely a byway, so it is permissible. So I'm pushing up this first section. Again, it's a very steep section from Duncan up towards Peasdown, and it's probably worth mentioning now, I'll be doing this in reverse in June when I do the full Fosse Way ride. So hopefully I'll be riding down here. I may be pushing up sections of what I've actually just ridden down. Once again, a quick bit about my methodology. I used Ride with GPS, and I used the main map format to do most of my bike rides. So this is an overview of what I'm doing today. That format is great for normal cycling, but you cannot map off-route sections like this. What you can do is adjust the map format in the top right hand corner. I said it last time, OSM, I think that probably stands for Ordnance Survey Maps, and all of a sudden it shows you all the bridleways and the byways, permissible paths, and then Ride with GPS then does allow you to trace a route along that course. So that's what I'm doing today. I've been using OSM format on Ride with GPS to construct this route. I've also been using the drag and drop facility, the orange pegman. Just drag and drop him onto the road. You will not get street views of these tracks, but what you can do is get street views of where it enters and exits, and it gives you a rough idea. So I've got 5 sections I'm riding today, and this, looking at the street view, was always the one I thought was probably least likely to be rideable. As I said, possibly downhill when I'm going in the other direction, but this section at the moment is just, I'm having to walk up. Just give you my thoughts on this section. It's clear that 4-wheel drives, farm vehicles do drive down here, so I'll stand by what I said earlier on. It's probably rideable in dry weather. As the gradient eased, I tried to ride it, but I just kept sinking into deep mud. But it's just left this tree covered area, it's opened out, and you get an idea of the landscape. I'm at the top of that second section. The first went up past a farm, through 2 gates, and up through a wooded area, and that was quite steep and also rutted by 4-wheel drive wheels. I think in the dry it'd be perfectly okay to ride down. I struggled to get up it today. I walked probably about a third of this section. This last bit through the fields and then up this defined track, although muddy and I was slipping a bit, it was perfectly rideable. Past a couple of walkers. So there's the main road that's come up to the same elevation, and the modern Peasdown to Radstock road veers off to the left. It's a bypass in effect. The original road went right through the village. That's the road I'm going to follow today, because that would have been the route of the Fosse Way. Travelled on the original Fosse Way through Peasdown St John. I'm now back about to join the main road. It looks like the main road was originally here, but it's very cleverly engineered. That is the original road, which now appears to turn off. Heading this way, very shortly, the main road, the Radstock road is going to drop down very steeply around a curve in the hill. But again, I'm going to veer off to the right and try and take the original straight drop down. So that's going to be byway number 3 today. I'm now on the edge of Radstock. Most of this busy road you can ride on a pavement. Part of it was on that side, part on this side. It's about to drop down steeply, hugging the contour into Radstock. But this is the Fosse Way. I'm going to be taking this minor road down. Let's give this a go. Just dropped steeply. This is Clandown. This is a no-through road. Here's the byway that carries on along here. This is going to be section number 3. Once again, wallop. It crossed a little stream. I think that's the River Somer. You can see by the houses there how steeply it's climbing. I took a run up to this. I guess I got about a third of the way up, then just stalled. Once again, when I ride this in June, pretty sure this would be okay going that way down. Looks like it's about to level off. Then it's going to drop down and cross the 5 Arches Greenway cycle path. After the steep climb up from Clandown, it's quite a rideable section along the top, past a couple of walkers there, see mountain bike tracks, get a bit slippery. I just got off this last little section. I wasn't confident I'd be able to stop in time before this gate, and now this bit is going to take me down to the 5 Arches Greenway. That's the actual where the 2 people are walking. That's the old GWR railway, Bristol to Frome railway, and then it's just passed under what they call 5 Arches Viaduct. That's the old Somerset and Dorset railway, which carried on up that way. So at some point I'm going down here, crossing over both, and I'm heading up to that town there. I can't remember what that's called. I'll put it on the screen right now before I take the final leg over Oak Hill and then drop down towards Shepton Mallet. bottom of the field. That was quite nice riding down there. You did have to just watch out for one or two of these big stones in the field in case you hit one of those and went over the handlebars. This is where the Five Arches Greenway diverges there. It's going to cross the main road and then take the old Somerset and Dorset Railway up towards Midsummer Norton and eventually Shepton Mallet, where we're heading. We take a more direct course. This is all new to me, so I really am just following the Garmin here. Just cross that main Radstock to Midsummer Norton Road, and this is a little loop. Funny enough, this is the old Fosse Way, which brings cyclists and walkers up to join the course of the old railway there. That's where they knock some of the arches down. So the rest of this section up to Midsummer Norton Station would be along the old Somerset and Dorset Railway. But here's where the Fosse Way once carried on. Again, steep, muddy, very sharp incline by the look of it. Let's give this a go.